Hey everyone, my name is TNA Pham, and in this tutorial, you will learn how to export your Premiere Pro project. Although the following steps are to export a finished video that you can upload to YouTube, they can also be used to export your Premiere Pro project in many common output formats. Let's get started. Okay, so you're happy with your edit. Now make sure to remove any video clips on the timeline that you don't want in your finished video. Next, to start the exporting process, click on an empty area here to select your timeline. You know it is selected when you see the blue lines around the timeline window. Then, go to File, Export, Media. An export settings window will pop up. First, you want to make sure you're on the Output tab by clicking on here. Next, you choose the source range. If you are sure that you already removed all the clips on the timeline that you don't want, set this to entire sequence. Now let's take a look at the summary of the source over here. These are the settings of the sequence that you are trying to export. In this case, 1920 by 1080 resolution, square pixels, 23.976 frame per second, progressive. In many cases, you would want the settings of the output to match these settings of the source. The only exception is with the resolution, and the rule of thumb is your output resolution should never be higher than your source resolution. We'll get back to this in a second. Let's move on to the next step, choosing the format. As you can see here, you have many options to choose from, so feel free to experiment with these. For now, let's go with H.264, as this is a very popular format for the web. Next, let's choose a preset. The available options for the preset will change according to the format that you choose. Since we chose H.264 format, if we scroll down, we can see there are a few presets that will work very nicely for YouTube. So how do you know which YouTube preset you should choose? Well, by looking at the source settings earlier, you know that your sequence resolution is 1920 by 1080. So in this case, you should choose the preset YouTube 1080. As you can see, the settings for the output and the source are similar, and that is what you want. You can also choose the preset YouTube 720 if for some reason you want to export a video with a lower resolution. What you definitely don't want to do is choose a preset with a higher resolution than your source resolution. In this case, if you choose the preset YouTube 2160, you can see that your output resolution is 3840 by 2160, and it is higher than the resolution of your sequence, which is 1920 by 1080. What you're doing here is you're forcing Premiere Pro to digitally increase the resolution, which is not a good idea because the finished video will look pixelated compared to your original source file. So let's go back to the preset YouTube 1080. The next step is to choose the output name for your finished video. For organization purposes, let's save it in the folder of this project. In this case, the folder for this project is on the desktop. Let's also give the file a name, My Video Final Export, and let's give it a date, 01/06/16. Now make sure that the boxes for export video and export audio are both checked. There are more settings under the video and audio tab if you like to experiment, but for now, we'll leave them at the default settings. If you look down here, you can see the estimated file size for the finished video with these settings. Okay, you are now ready to export. If you click on the export button here, Premiere Pro will start the export process right away, and you will not be able to work in Premiere Pro until the export process is completed. If that is all you want to do, great, you're done. However, if you want to continue to edit in Premiere Pro while exporting, you will want to use the Q button instead of clicking on the Export button. Clicking on the Q button will launch Adobe Media Encoder. Once here, you can start the export process by clicking on the Start Queue button. While that is going, you can go back to Premiere Pro and continue to work on your project or start a new one. Using the queue option is also very helpful if you want to export many of your sequences at the same time. And that's it for today. If you liked the video, hit like or subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment area. My name is Tina Pham, and thanks for watching.